have that good high work ethic here.
Trying to win Super Bowls, man. It's the only way you get there. It's exciting to play with this team, knowing how much firepower we have and how much we love each other. And, you know, we're in here every single day grinding our tails off, trying to get that fixed.
Greatness is usually measured in trophies, headlines, and rings. But those are the visible parts. What we rarely see is what was quietly traded away to earn them. For the Kelce family, success did not arrive without cost. It arrived with strain, with separation, with moments they never got back. Behind the confidence, the celebrations, and the larger-than-life personalities, there was pressure building inside a household that had no guarantees. Two sons chasing a future that demanded everything. A mother holding stability together. A father absorbing silence. This is not a football success story. It's a story about what greatness quietly asks for in return. About dinners missed, emotions swallowed, and sacrifices that never make highlight reels. Because before the Kelce name became legendary, it became strained. And the cost of that strain was paid long before the world started watching.
Oh, man, you just believe. You just believe every snap. No.
Before we move on, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our upcoming documentaries. Long before stadiums echoed their name, the Kelce family lived inside uncertainty. Football was not a dream backed by comfort. It was a risk layered on top of instability. Every season carried hope, but also fear. There were no guarantees that talent would turn into longevity. No certainty that sacrifice would lead anywhere. Donna, Kelce carried the daily weight of structure, schedules, logistics, emotional balance. She became the constant when everything else felt temporary. Ed, Kelce carried a different burden. The quiet responsibility of support without spotlight. A belief without control. He watched his sons pour everything into a future that could disappear overnight. That uncertainty shaped the household. Not loudly, but persistently. It taught everyone to endure rather than complain. To push forward even when exhaustion set in. Because in that house, quitting was never an option. Only enduring silently was.
Hey, man, we found a way there in the fourth quarter to get some things going on offense.
Jason and Travis didn't just grow up competing on the field. They competed for stability, for reassurance, for proof that the sacrifices were worth it. Sports demanded time. Time demanded absence. Absence reshaped family dynamics. Normal routines slowly disappeared. Weekends belonged to travel. Evenings belonged to recovery. Conversations revolved around performance and progress. Not feelings, not fatigue. There was love, but it was often expressed through logistics rather than words. Through rides to practice. Through financial strain quietly absorbed. Through emotional restraint. The Kelce household learned early that pressure was part of the process. That showing weakness could feel like distraction. So emotions were managed, not explored. The boys learned resilience. But resilience came at a cost. It taught them how to push forward, not always how to pause.
Goal, shout out to Harry, and just put up some points for our defense, man. Our defense is playing their tail off right now. So.
As talent became undeniable, expectations followed. Success didn't reduce pressure. It multiplied it, because now failure felt public, even before the public arrived. Donna, Kelce balanced encouragement with realism. She supported ambition while preparing for disappointment. That dual role is exhausting. Hope drains energy when paired with uncertainty. Ed Kelce remained steady, but distant, not from lack of care, from a belief that strength meant restraint. The family didn't discuss fear openly. They absorbed it individually, each member carrying a different version of the same weight. Jason felt responsibility as the older brother. Travis felt urgency to prove himself. Both felt the unspoken pressure to justify sacrifice. Not just their own, but everyone else's too. Because when a family gives everything to a dream, failure doesn't feel individual. It feels collective.
It's the best, man. He's our fearless leader, man. That guy's the most competitive human being I know.
Greatness demands focus. Focus narrows life. The Kelce family felt that narrowing early. Friendships faded. Social normalcy disappeared. Life became performance-driven. Even celebrations felt conditional. because the next challenge always waited. Jason internalized leadership early, carrying expectations quietly. Travis learned to mask doubt with confidence. Confidence became armor. Armor protected him, but also isolated him. The family adapted, but adaptation doesn't mean ease. It means survival. There were moments when exhaustion went unnoticed, because everyone was tired. There were moments when emotional needs were postponed, because goals felt more urgent. The household functioned, but functioning isn't the same as resting. And over time, that difference began to matter, because pressure accumulates, and families feel that accumulation deeply.
We love him for how he leads this team, both on the field and practice throughout the week.
As careers advanced, distance increased. Not physical distance, emotional distance. Schedules conflicted. Expectations intensified. Conversations became efficient, purpose-driven, less personal. The Kelce family remained close, but communication shifted. Support became assumed rather than expressed. Jason and Travis were consumed by proving themselves. Donna was consumed by keeping balance. Ed remained steady, but quieter than ever. His role had no applause, only patience. Watching success from the outside is complicated. Pride mixes with helplessness, because you can't protect them anymore. You can only watch. That watching carries its own burden. The family celebrated milestones, but those moments were brief, because progress always demanded more. And with every step forward, something else was left behind. Time, ease, emotional openness.
And right now, man, he's leading us into victory.
The public saw confidence. The family felt fatigue. Jason carried leadership pressure. Travis carried expectation pressure. Both carried the weight of being symbols. Symbols don't get to rest. Donna worried silently, not about success, about sustainability. She understood how fragile careers could be. One injury, one decision, everything could change. Ed absorbed uncertainty without complaint. That silence wasn't weakness. It was protection. Protecting his sons from additional worry. Protecting his wife from more stress. But silence accumulates. An unspoken strain doesn't disappear. It waits. The Kelce family didn't fracture. They endured. But endurance isn't free. It costs emotional bandwidth. And over time, that cost became undeniable. Because greatness was demanding more than football now.
You gotta do your homework, baby. You gotta do your homework. Little Wildcat at University of Cincinnati.
Recognition brought relief, but not release. Success validated sacrifice, but didn't erase it. Jason and Travis achieved what few ever do. But achievement created new distance, new responsibilities, new expectations. The family adjusted again, always adjusting, rarely resting. Donna remained the emotional anchor, holding space for everyone else. That role is heavy, especially when no one holds space for you. Ed remained a quiet observer, supporting without intrusion. That restraint is rarely celebrated, but it is essential. The family's strength came from cooperation, not perfection, from persistence, not ease. They learned to survive success the same way they survived struggle, by absorbing pressure quietly and continuing forward, because stopping was never part of the plan, even when stopping might have helped.
It just tells you how much we're going to fight, and that's a great team. It's a tough team.
As fame grew, privacy shrank. The Kelce family became public property. Narratives formed without context. Stories simplified complex realities. The public saw joy. The family felt responsibility. Every action reflected on everyone else. That awareness created restraint. You don't just represent yourself anymore. You represent a name, a history, a family. Jason and Travis felt that weight differently, but equally. Donna navigated visibility with grace. Ed withdrew further into privacy, not out of disinterest, but protection. Protection of what remained personal. The family learned that fame amplifies everything, including pressure, including sacrifice. And once amplified, it cannot be undone. You adjust or you fracture. The Kelce family chose adjustment. even when it cost emotional comfort.
We did there in the fourth quarter with a couple 90-yard drives. That was huge for us. Yeah.
The sacrifices weren't dramatic. They were cumulative. Missed moments, delayed conversations, emotions placed on hold. Those are harder to measure than trophies, but they last longer. The Kelce family rarely spoke publicly about strain because gratitude was expected. Success discourages honesty about cost. You're supposed to be thankful, not reflective. But reflection matters because it acknowledges what was given. Jason and Travis matured under pressure, but maturity often arrives early in families that sacrifice together. They learned accountability, but also restraint. They learned discipline, but also suppression. Those lessons shape them, not just as athletes, but as people. And those shapes don't disappear when the game ends. They stay, long after the cheering fades.
I think I got a lot of respect for the coaches over there and the players over there, and that was just a hard-fought win.
The breaking point wasn't public. It was internal. Moments of quiet realization that everything had come at a cost. Jason felt it in responsibility. Travis felt it in identity. Donna felt it in exhaustion. Ed felt it in silence. None of them collapsed. They adjusted again, but adjustment has limits. The family began to acknowledge what they had endured. Not regret. Recognition that sacrifice is not weakness. It's reality. They didn't seek sympathy. They sought understanding. Understanding that greatness isn't just built through effort. It's sustained through emotional labor. Often invisible, often unspoken, and rarely credited. That realization didn't change the past, but it reframed it. And reframing brings healing.
Because we got a chance. Anytime we have a chance, the confidence got to be sky high, and we got players that can make plays.
As time passed, conversations deepened. Not about games, about life, about balance, about sustainability. The Kelce family began reclaiming what had been postponed. Emotional honesty, reflection, presence. Those shifts didn't erase sacrifice. They honored it. Jason learned to separate leadership from self-worth. Travis learned to soften confidence with vulnerability. Donna allowed herself rest. Ed allowed himself voice. Small changes, meaningful ones. The family dynamic evolved, from survival-based to intentional. That evolution was overdue, but it was possible because they endured together. Not perfectly, but persistently. The sacrifices didn't disappear. They became part of the story, not the whole story. And that distinction mattered deeply.
In the second half there and overtime, and even on the offensive line, guys are stepping up. So
legacy changed meaning. It wasn't just about championships. It was about relationships sustained, about pressure navigated without breaking bonds. The Kelce family realized that success without connection is incomplete. Connection required slowing down, listening, relearning each other outside of performance. That process wasn't instant. It took intention. But intention brings clarity. Clarity brings peace. The family began valuing presence over productivity, conversation over control. That shift didn't reduce ambition. It grounded it. Greatness no longer demanded constant sacrifice. It demanded balance. And balance required honesty about what was lost and what remained. That honesty strengthened the family, not weakened it, because truth, even when uncomfortable, create stability.
I don't know. We'll look at it on the film and see where we can be better. And
public success often hides private recovery. The Kelce family entered a phase of reflection, looking back without judgment, recognizing endurance without glorifying suffering. They understood that sacrifice doesn't need to be repeated to be honored. It needs to be acknowledged. Jason and Travis carried lessons forward into leadership, into relationships, into identity beyond football. Donna found space to be more than the organizer. Ed found peace in being seen, not loudly, but sincerely. The family's strength had always been collective. That didn't change. What changed was awareness. Awareness allows healing. Healing doesn't erase pressure. It contextualizes it. And context makes growth possible. The Kelce family didn't undo the past. They integrated it. That integration became their quiet victory.
That it's always, a part of the after aftermath of the game.
Pressure shaped them, but it didn't define them entirely. The family learned that sacrifice should lead somewhere meaningful. Not just forward, but inward, toward understanding, toward connection. Greatness cost them comfort, but gave them perspective. Perspective reshapes priorities. The Kelce family began prioritizing emotional presence. Not perfection. Presence allows mistakes. In recovery, that shift strengthened bonds that had been tested. Not broken. They didn't rewrite their story. They reclaimed it. With honesty. With reflection. With restraint. The sacrifices mattered. They always would. But they no longer defined everything. Because life beyond performance demanded more than endurance. It demanded intention. And the family was ready for that evolution.
Weaker, obviously, trying to get points in the red zone and scoring those touchdowns for the defense is huge.
Greatness eventually slows. Families remain. The Kelce family understood that transition was inevitable. Football would change. Roles would shift. What mattered was what endured. Connection, trust, shared history. Those elements had survived pressure. They could survive transition. Jason and Travis approached the future with new awareness. Success was no longer the sole metric. Sustainability mattered. Donna embraced a lighter load. It embraced visibility. The family dynamic softened. Not weaker, more human. The sacrifices didn't vanish. They became reference points, guides for what to protect moving forward. The family learned that strength doesn't always look like endurance. Sometimes it looks like rest. And choosing rest doesn't diminish greatness. It preserves it. That lesson redefined success for all of them.
We'll definitely try and hone in on that. We were doing really good with that early on in the year, and we just got to stay true to it.
The story of the Kelce family isn't exceptional because of fame. It's relatable because of sacrifice. Many families give more than they realize for ambition. Time, emotional availability, stability. The difference is visibility. The Kelces live theirs publicly, but the cost is universal. They show us that success doesn't erase strain. It reframes it. Jason and Travis carry their family's story with them, not as burden, as foundation. Donna and Ed remain the quiet center, the reason everything held together. That role deserves recognition, not applause, but acknowledgement. The family's journey reminds us that greatness is collaborative. It's built in kitchens, cars, and conversations, not just stadiums. And that the people who sacrifice quietly matter just as much as those who shine.
This year, and I'll make sure that I give everybody the right shout-outs on my podcast.
The sacrifices shaped character, but character outlived the sacrifices. The Kelce family reached a place of reflection without bitterness. That matters, because bitterness fractures families. Reflection strengthens them. They didn't deny hardship. They contextualized it. That allowed healing. The family learned to speak about cost without resentment, to acknowledge pressure without glorifying it. That balance is rare and earned. Jason and Travis became more than athletes. They became representatives of resilience done thoughtfully. Donna and Ed became symbols of support done quietly. Together, they modeled endurance without erasure of self. That's not a sports lesson. It's a human one, and it resonates far beyond football, because success without self-awareness eventually collapses. The Kelce family chose awareness instead.
Family time, and there's nothing that goes better than football on Thanksgiving, baby.
Looking back, the sacrifices feel heavier in memory. Not because they were mistakes, but because they mattered. The Kelce family understands that greatness is never isolated. It's shared, distributed, felt differently by everyone involved. They don't regret the journey. They respect it. Respect allows closure without denial. The family learned that life, after pressure, can still feel full. If you allow it, connection remains. Purpose evolves. Identity expands. Football was a chapter, a demanding one, but not the entire story. That realization brought peace. The sacrifices weren't in vain. They built something durable, not just careers, but relationships that survive pressure. That survival is its own achievement, and it deserves to be recognized. Quietly, honestly.
We got to win for them. I know that. You can't go back home with any L's.
The Kelce family sacrificed more than football for greatness. They sacrificed comfort, ease, emotional simplicity, but they gained understanding, perspective, connection that endured pressure. This story isn't about trophies. It's about what families give when chasing something bigger than certainty. If this resonated, it's because many families carry similar sacrifices, often unseen, often unspoken. Share your thoughts and comments. What do you think families give up most in pursuit of success? And if you value stories that explore the human cost behind greatness, subscribe. Because the most important stories aren't always the loudest ones.
And, we're in here every single day grinding our tails off, trying to get that fixed.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our upcoming documentaries.